My name is Dean Taraborelli, and I'm the co-director of the sanctuary at Sedona. And I want to just share a little bit about how I got to this journey. And something about me, I love sharing with people. I love seeing people change. I love seeing people wake up. Love people having that spiritual awakening that is talked about in the 12 steps. And in my own journey, I began using drugs when I was 12. I've been through numerous treatment centers, the double digits of treatment centers. I've been to some of the best treatment centers in this nation, some more than once, some for several months at a time. And I can tell you that I worked hard in those places. Like, I had a good life. I had a bunch of people that cared about me. I had potential. And I wanted to get out of the pattern of hurting myself, of hurting those around me. So I worked hard in treatment, and I did everything that was asked of me. I was diligent. I went to the aftercare that was suggested. I followed instructions right up until the time where I got overwhelmed and used again, only to find myself right back in treatment. And I did this over the course of 20 years. And something that I noticed, that I wasn't the only one doing this. That actually most of the people that I was in treatment with were also doing this. And the people that I kept track of and the people that I saw again in treatment had been there before. So I realized it wasn't just me, that this was common. And chronic relapse is actually way more commonplace than it is to recover and move on. And at some point, through a lot of trials and tribulations, and as I said, 20 years of every kind of treatment, inpatient, outpatient, extended inpatient, intensive outpatient, individual therapy, men's groups, different kinds of groups, process groups, codependence groups, medication protocols, psychiatrists, psychologists, you name it, I tried it because I wanted to feel better. And through that whole process, I realized that something else needed to happen. And in that whole process, while I was going from treatment center to treatment center, I was also somehow traveling the world. I've been to 60 countries on this planet, talking to different kinds of healers and medicine people and different monuments that I went to, and somehow compiling all that into a place where people could actually change. What I noticed about addiction treatment centers is that there's no inherent core change that happens. We have cerebral understanding, and I think that anybody watching this will probably understand it makes sense. Okay, so I go to my therapist, or I'm in group, and I understand, you know what, I don't want to do this, 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 and this. I understand that it came from a certain aspect of my life, maybe my parents or some other way. I understand where it came from. I understand kind of why I might be doing it. I have some tools to try to stop doing that. I feel good about it. I've got a mental understanding. And then a day later, I'm out doing that exact same thing. And this happens again and again. And we say, why? Why am I doing that? And people say, I don't know. I was just at my dealer's. I was just at the bar. And of course we don't know why, because it's all in our limbic brain. This is all unconscious for us. And so realizing we have to look at this a whole different way. So what we've done is create a center here where we help people to get to what's underneath your addiction, what's underneath your codependence, what's underneath your depression and anxiety. It's so common now. We go to the doctor, we go to a psychiatrist, and we're in crisis. We're depressed. Well, here's an antidepressant, which, hey, that's great. If you're in crisis, we want to feel better. But the whole point is, why are you depressed? Why are you anxious? And anti-anxiety medication doesn't get to why we're anxious in the first place. And if we don't get to that, then depression, anxiety, addiction, codependence will be stalking us forever. And we can hold it at bay. We can stay in some kind of recovery process whereby we become then a slave to that process. And if I don't go to a meeting in a while, then my life begins to unravel because I haven't gone through this inherent change. And if we don't get to the change, we're always going to be in the process of changing, of in recovery, of going through the same things and having the same result. You know, they talk about insanity. The definition of insanity is, well, we do the same things expecting a different result, and that's insanity. Well, we understand that in terms of destructive behavior. Okay, if I drink, boy, I'll expect to not feel bad after that. Well, how about in the process of recovery? Why is it that that's not insane to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result?